Now, a black person can be a nigga, but a nigga has to learn how to be a black person. But we're not even black. We're coppered. Let's be a buck. I'm done playing. This is black. This is copper.
Yeah,
Stop it.
because the Anunnaki might be, as you say, the Anunnaki might actually be black, and we're copper,
Melanated, I should say.
maybe. But
Melanated.
I'm gonna say something probably controversial to
Now,
how you think.
go ahead and cut it up. Rip
So,
up.
if anything, if how you're saying about white people not being able to deal with the sun, if anything, if we follow the story of the Anunnaki and how they behave mentally, and the fact that they're not from here,
Ah, don't do it.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, don't do it. Don't you? Don't you do
Hey,
it.
that's what I do,
Don't
son.
you? Go ahead and explain it. It's Hotep Gemini in the building with your boy Wise Weirdo. And we finna tap in today with Terrence Howard's new podcast that he had with Joe Rogan. Want to
Billy
spend a little
Carson.
bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, my bad. Billy Carson. Then we're gonna hop over and then review our Terrence Howard because we watched the podcast. And then we got two exciting things for you at the end of the show today. So sit tight, give us a little second, and we'll get right back with you. Yeah.
Yo, what's good? So
What's
that
the
Gemini.
word? What's the word? We're back. We're back at it.
Yes.
Remember last episode I said if you had any preconceived notion of this being like a A to Z kind of podcast, please exit, walk outside, and hit your head on the ground, and then come back if you would like to continue, because this is about to be scatterbrained and it's about to be all over the place. If you feel me, you feel me. But nonetheless, what's good with you, my boy? How you feeling? How you living? How you breathing?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling, bro. I just finished watching the Billy Carson project. I told you we was talking about it.
Wait. I would like to tell everybody this man predicted it. This man predicted it like 2 weeks ago,
I
right
told
before
you
we had got on the combo. He was like, "Hey, watch, there's about to be a Joe Rogan podcast," and I'm like, "Wait, we have one? We got to go live now." And then he was
yeah.
like, "No. I was just saying,
When it happens, we gotta go live.
we gotta
So,
go." And
so
so
here we
look,
are.
it was just what 2 days ago, right? Today makes officially two
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he had Tony
One and a half.
Henderson on today. So unless he does multiple interviews, that's besides the point. So let's dabble a little bit about this. This Billy Carson interview, he most definitely did say that he he brought up the same topics that he spoke about in his previous interview.
Yeah, we were going to talk about the Flagrant podcast before this when he did that,
Oh
and
yeah,
he had his whole. Yeah, he even cried on that podcast. I don't know if you saw
yeah,
that.
I saw it. He
So,
had a
so
very
it,
emotional moment. Would
yes, so serious.
Oh, mm.
So yeah, well, I used to be a big Billy Carson fan when he was Coach Billy Carson. He was doing some sports stuff also with it. As he
What
was doing sports,
what channel?
I don't remember the channel, but he called himself Coach Billy Carson, right?
Mm.
So he used to do sport coverage. I think I said previously he was on CNN, but I think he was on ESPN on something related to. Um, so he was talking about forbidden knowledge. He was promoting that heavy. So I was into it. I remember in the chats that we used to go to. I used to promote, be like, Billy Carson, we got to do an interview with Billy Carson.
Mm.
But then I had to like pause a little bit and look at it from 30,000 view perspective, because I'm like, he's kind of moving too fast, and he was linking up with your boy Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, wait. Don't say my boy. Look, don't say my boy. Look, I rocked with him for like a genuine second, but then I took like a bigger look at him and I'm like, you're a funny guy. You're a funny kind of guy. I don't
I know, because I remember how you felt about it the last episode. That's what I said. I'm just messing with you.
well, I'm glad that you remembered.
Yeah, so he started doing the whole like NASA route, and I don't want to get it too much into that aspect of
I
it,
don't
but
believe them. I don't believe
when he started promoting NASA heavy, I was like, all right, I need to put my third eye on this guy. So that's kind of where I'm at with Billy Carson. I gotta, because maybe he's doing it out of in my perception ignorance. I mean,
Nah, he's way too informed. Bags like that can't be ignorant, especially when you're speaking on such calibers. You
I,
can't be ignorant.
I don't know if you heard about the I mean, he talked about it, the dark side of the moon landings. Like China just did it
No,
like a few weeks ago.
no, China did just do it.
He was talking about Clementine, the Clementine mission,
Wait, did you
which
send
was
that in the chat real quick, or did you send that right?
I yeah, I sent it. Let me
No,
see if I got it.
I know I got it. It's just I'm trying to bring these up. Um,
Well, I got the YouTube video, the YouTube link to the Clementine landing, but the actual part where he talks about it, um, I have that video, but I don't know if I sent that to you.
I
Uh,
no, wait. Let me see.
let me check.
Well, I know I did open these up in my folder. So creating planets. Nope, not that one. Nah. That, oh, here. That's the photo. All right, I'm about to pull it up. We're gonna bring up the Clementine video
Yeah,
first.
so
Then
he was promoting that mission heavy, saying that was he even showed some footage of like a pyramid that's supposed to be at by the dark side of the moon. Photos taken by Clementine,
okay, I'm
and
about to open it up. You talk about it. Well,
I heard something just now.
no, that was the actual video that I'm pulling up right now. I'm about to separate these. Full screen that. Okay, bet. So share screen. Yes, I know. All right, you see it? Yo,
Yep, I see
you
it.
see it? All right, bet.
Yep.
I have my own theories about Earth, but that shall be for another episode.
Now this video is from NASA, right?
Mm.
Expect entry
You need to watch
interface
out for
in
NASA,
45
Operation
seconds.
Paperclip, and all those other fun ones. You
I
know what?
mean,
I
do you
think
see
we
those?
should bring up everything we talk about. We should throw it in the notes. Like, if I'm talking about Operation Paperclip, I should just go find those files and then post it up so that people don't have to do their real own research and digging because y'all some lazy some this. It's neither here nor there. For what? This is the dark side of the moon, you're saying?
Yeah, and this happened as you see in 1994. I mean,
Oh, that looks fake as fuck. I'm sorry. I'm
that
zooming.
looks that one right there. Come on, what the hell is that?
Those colored photo.
What's going on?
Oh, is that the moon? Is it radiating something?
I
Wait,
guess.
that's
I
not
guess.
telling me much. This
Okay.
isn't telling me much. Like I don't know what this is.
I guess it's thermal imaging or something.
This looks like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It could have something on it. I don't know what this is. This looks like the sun, but I guess you're doing side by side comparisons. Like I need more details and descriptions. But this is
This looks like an amateur video from like a regular YouTuber, and this is from NASA, right? Like, can you check who?
wait, this is from NASA.
Yeah, check.
Yo,
It's
what?
isn't it?
International Astronautical Federation.
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Nah, bro. Wait. No.
But the video in the beginning, in the title, I thought it said NASA. So,
Where's that? Let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna pause this because I don't get no fuck. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna, no, thank you. Open this up. No, but that was NASA. I guess what makes it so amateurish is the fact that
it's fake.
well, NASA is fake, but
Not a
um,
space agency.
no, I don't believe what they
You get
present.
it? Not NASA, not a space agency.
Okay, so this is the video about China. Um, cut this. Oh, this is bright. All right, cool. So I'm gonna show the other video. Present share screen. Okie dokie. I
I don't
love
know,
these 3D modules that they put up.
bro.
That
Like, it's 2024, man. Like, what's up?
love these 3D modules that they put up to display what we actually do.
This is what you should be seeing. What?
Y'all can't give us the factual evidence.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta
Wait,
have a.
the CGIs and the fucking Transformer movies are better than this. Like, I need.
Shouldn't we have a telescope on a satellite or something like that's got like detail like paparazzi? Like we should be able to take pictures like the paparazzi right now.
Well, you can't always say that the quality of something is that false or is actually what makes it false. But I will say it's very, very difficult to believe something that's supposed to be said truth and it not be truth at all. It's kind of difficult to like really receive that. But you have to understand there's a lot of things about life that you can't see but are actually there. So
Yeah. But so this is what Billy Carson was promoting heavy during the Joe Rogan. He was talking about these missions. He didn't really talk about the China one. He talked about the Clementine one,
mm,
saying so. That's when I'm like, I don't know, I don't know if I can trust the man who I don't. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think NASA has um, been real to us. And I know now recently there's been a trend, people saying, well, there's a reason NASA couldn't be because they're like hiding something bigger.
well, if you look at it, you take a look at the Operation Paperclip. Um, NASA most definitely has, and then not just NASA, but you got the Soviet Union who has a lot of the Nazi scientists. We've recruited a lot of the Nazi scientists, and those niggas most definitely didn't show up like in our textbooks or history. Like they wouldn't show that shit. Like why would they show it? Like if you really think about it, They wouldn't give that kind of information to us only due to the fact that that would ruin a lot of their credibility in the story that they're trying to tell us. Now, if you believe in said story, good for you. You believe in a fat old lie, but if you don't, like, good job. You listen to your parents and actually question some things. You
Yeah.
know? So you want me to pull up
Let's
that Billy Carson?
yeah. So let's pull up some Billy Carson clips so I can.
Actually, let me start some music in the background so I can't yeah. So I can't get us copywritten. Cough, cough.
Right.
Because I would like to keep this channel, even though we
Yeah.
just did it. But
Because both Billy and Joe are pretty strict on their copyright.
oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Billy
try to do.
copyright struck somebody on YouTube because they use a stock photo from his IM.
Yeah, you did show us that. You did show me that. You showed me that way back when. You did that way back when.
That's some petty shit, bro.
Yeah, well, if he wasn't getting paid, he was like, "Fuck it." Um, so, are we doing teleportations, clarity, Annunaki supremacy?
Let's start with Annunaki Supremacy. That's my title. That's how I felt after I watched that clip. So
Okay, well, let me
drop.
cool. Turn this back. All right, you can see it.
Yeah.
That's too slow.
Yeah.
If you were another highly intelligent being from another planet, you're like, look, they're gonna get there. We'll give them a little push. Give them a little something.
And the evidence of that is
Give
in
them a
a
little trust fund.
tablets called the Myth of Adapa, which means first man. And the Myth of Adapa, an ancient Sumerian text. It's a tablet. And in this tablet, you can buy the book Myth of Adapa on Amazon. You can read it for yourself, completely translated, and translated by scholars, by the way. And it's talking about the fact that according to the Anunnaki, human beings were created in a way that genetically we were supposed to become more superior than them. They didn't know this was going to happen. And Lil was angry at his brother Enki because Enki put a little extra in the sauce. Yeah, a little extra. And he said that the mysteries to unlock the secrets of the universe is hidden within our bodies, and that we ourselves can rise to be even higher than them. This was a major thing to be putting into text like this. Now, who sits around
How does
and
it
writes this?
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
How?
All right. See. Let's see. That's all the ammo I needed.
Oh Jesus. Okay, because this is about to be a back and forth because I actually kind of believe this guy.
I know. He makes it so credible, and there's so much.
No. It was before Billy Carson, but he just makes what I believe. But he could have read the same things that I've read, and we've actually talked about this years ago. G, we talked about this years ago when I got privy to said knowledge.
Right. I was with Billy. I was with him, but then I was like, hold on, because
this nigga looked like a lawyer out to do a hip hop court. Go ahead, lawyer Duck.
So he's talking about like so he said his brother Enlil got mad at Enki because he put a little extra in the sauce. But he's referring to that he put more of his essence into the man when he created him. So to the point where they had a hidden knowledge to the point we could be superior to them. So me, I'm the type of person that I read between the lines. So what you're saying is that you created us inferior to you, but you're saying that there's a chance that we might be superior to you. Like, what are you really saying?
No, we've always been more superior than them once they created us. It's just if we've had the understanding of how to be more superior. You don't create your son to be inferior to you, do you?
So listen,
You
I'm
don't
okay.
create your child to be more inferior than you. You create
Right.
your
So
child to be better than you.
I am okay with being superior to the one who created me on this level, on this 3D level, whatever. So procreation, we're talking about. I'm not talking about like the creator, but on this level playing field. Yes. So what eventually they're saying is that these beings that come to visit us are superior to us. But in what he just said is he's saying that we are actually superior to them, or will eventually become. So I'm not buying the part where he's saying we'll eventually become. We are, because you are.
How are we superior than the people who've created us when we specifically said that humankind is de-evolving, whatever the fuck the word is. You can't. We were supposed to be better, but there.
All right, so
You
I see what you're
know
saying
about the Annunaki story. You gotta spit truth. You have to spit truth when we're talking about the Annunaki story. Let's be a buck. Let's be a buck.
I see what you're saying, but now my point is, one of these things, both of these things cannot be true. Like, you can't be devolving and be superior, and right?
I'm not saying no. The hardware is to be superior, yet the level of understanding of the hardware is not as superiority. Why is that? Because we still have fucking homelessness on the planet. Why is that? Because we've decided to create currency of an exchange of time, energy, and essence for something that is a figment of our imagination. Let's break it down.
Look, so the reason
Everybody
I'm saying
okay, my bad.
What Billy Carson and many others of his peers are saying is that within a few years, these beings are going to return. And what he's saying is that we are going to be still inferior to them, and they will be superior to us. I have a problem with that.
You have a problem with that because you don't believe in the said religious version of God. You believe in some type of creator, I guess. But if you don't, then therefore that gives it more credence on you not believing this shit. You just have to see it. And you seeing it is your truth, is it not?
Now, I know that my eyes can deceive me. I know that, but so seeing wouldn't necessarily
seeing with your human eyes. You know what it is, bro. You have to. You're separating reality and spirituality at the same time. You have to coincide. If you coincide it, you can hear some of these people who are like actually tapped in, have seen aliens, have seen this and that. And you can't say they do drugs because some of these motherfuckers say don't touch drugs at all.
So they've seen aliens because they were
I've
tapped
seen
in.
aliens from meditating, but I smokes weed, so that denounces my credibility.
Okay,
I guess
we gotta define alien. If you're seeing
alien is not the human term. Aliens is the concept of something that is foreign to the human, like the Homo sapien, something
right.
foreign from the Homo sapien.
Yes.
But
now these things that you're talking about, like we're just gonna break it down to like spirits, right? Spirits, demons, angels, whatever.
It's the
aliens,
unseen, foreign
right?
to us.
So, but they
don't
exist in our reality as like 3D, right?
I wouldn't say, because who are us to be able to say that we know the constructs of 99% when we've barely seen 5? Yes, we use the internet. We have many people who have different points of views, but how much of the shit that you're accessed or allowed to has been skewed?
Maybe, but So far we haven't had proof of anything that cannot be seen with the eyes.
Hey, we just had that shit just happen in fucking Miami like a year ago.
Okay, UFO, right?
The motherfuckers in the mall. Nah, bro. Nah, I don't look. Even but this
I'm
is
not
where the
buying that,
belief.
bro.
This is where the belief comes in. If you believe this shit or not, right?
I'm done with the like. I can't like, bro. Like, I need like. Listen, everybody got phones. Stop it.
Everybody does.
Okay, stop. Like, if I have to see a TikTok video of aliens, I'm not buying it. I need to see a documentary. I need to see like them.
You have. The motherfuckers have been putting it on the fucking History Channel for the longest of time.
No, when I say documentary, I mean like they're interviewing the alien or they're
No, they're not going to interfere or intervene with us if we can't even figure out how to be cordial with a nigga that's not even the same color skin as us.
Let me get back to my point. Is if we don't see more than a 2-minute video, like we haven't seen more than a 30-second video of an alien, like that mall incident, that was like, you know, some things hovering. It could have been easily been what do you call that technology?
Hey, you fucking deep fake that shit.
No, not deep fake. When they have some type of projection, they can project the lights.
Oh, like the holograms and shit like that.
Yeah, hologram. There you go. It could have easily been holograms because it was moving like at one direction, and nah, bro, I'm not buying it. Like that's not enough.
Wait. I'm gonna pull this up for the people who don't remember. Here we go. This is for the people who don't remember about the aliens that did pop up in Miami in a mall, I would say. Not would say, but this is what they reported.
From us here at Bayside, there were or are exclusive video. This is our video team saw that there were all sorts of sirens and lights outside, and our video team rose up, and that was the functional video that they were able to produce.
Just warming the people up.
They show is what was
video
happening,
of video.
Of what was happening out here, where that's an enormous police presence. That looks like something awful
Now,
is happening.
I will not bullshit you. This may be like the fake cry wolf where they, you know, present some kind of story so you can be distracted, yet every story is a fucking distraction.
You're telling me that the
telling
internet
you
now
that
believes it's
you-
aliens?
Yep, that's exactly what
Like,
happened. So I
it
saw
is
Miami Mall
proof on
trending
everything to
and
distract.
realized obviously Miami
And
Mall
what
doesn't exist. So I started
ability
seeing
it
this
has
video
to
and it's
your
all these
actual
red
life
pill
at the
people
moment.
being like, the government's hiding something from us. This is not a normal police presence. Now there's conspiracies that I was just seeing a few minutes ago before we started that this video is actually from 8 to 10 years ago, and the government's been stifling it from us for over a
The
decade.
video Jason took.
Yeah, the video that
outside
Jason
when
took
this
like 3 days
happened?
ago.
Okay,
Yeah, that
all right.
video.
He's part
That,
of it.
that it's been stifled for 8 to 10 years, and that actually, if you look, there's a shadow, a malignant
Nah.
presence in the
But
background. that
Where's
is
the actual footage though? Where's the footage?
I don't.
I'm about to hear. Nah.
Yeah.
See, where's the footage? You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Where's the actual footage? Oh, you play slow right now? You act a little slow right now? You don't love me? Oh, let me not do that. Might be seen as being insensitive. Nope, I don't want to watch that one.
I know you were here and you felt the gamma radiation coming off of Bayside from the aliens
Speaking of Ghostbusters,
who came to town to go shopping at Bayside. I mean, if aliens land in Miami, you know where they're going to go right away. They're going to go right to Bayside. There's a live look on the video monitor right now of Bayside where the aliens landed last week. Now, here's the thing about this story, Roy.
Oh, what the fuck is
It
that?
went so viral. It went so
Okay,
crazy.
well,
Fireworks at people. There was also some looting going on. So officers that were on that scene were having a little bit of trouble containing it. So they called what is called the citywide 3, which every officer in the
Why is he
city
on a podcast
responded. That's
talking
why you
about
saw so much police presence
hear that
for.
background music?
no, that was them with the background music.
You hear that background music?
Yeah, we do.
That was you?
Oh, yeah, I didn't turn it off.
Yo, this is what I call alien hysteria. Like they're trying to hype people up with some
Okay,
bullshit.
look. I can't wait till we get to that one segment of the show where we talk about other segments that are created. But that's besides the point. Because I got something to bring up. Now we'll talk. But nonetheless, in the ideology of aliens, you are only able to see 0.5% without being overloaded and overconsumed. You also have to think that you're on a server that only guides majority of the shit you see unless you go for a deep dive, deep web swim, and then all of a sudden you're on the motherfucking blacklist and they know what the fuck you be looking up. Like, there's a lot of things you have to go through, the rings and the hoops and the loops, to get to certain truths and knowledges, because they know for a fact if they dropped half the shit, which they have, we could probably go to a CIA document right now, to see what information they've actually dropped and what they've given to us, which we have not looked up.
Now, there's one thing I agree with Billy Carson, is when he says that the Anunnaki gave us the key to the universe. He put it within our soul. So you got to understand, when you do that, that means you also have it or you don't. But that's not my point.
Only certain people.
No, I'm saying, like, how do you give something to someone that you yourself don't have? You feel me?
Yes, I do feel you. But
like they're saying, they put
your kids. Look, even if you're not, and I know I hate going to this monetary ideology, but even if I don't have $1 million, I can still create a child who creates $2 billion. If I give him, even though I am not the millionaire myself, now I do believe in the philosophy. Don't
listen, but this isn't $1 billion, bro. This is the secrets of the universe.
If I know the secrets of the universe but can't tap into certain said secrets, what makes that mean that I can't give you that?
It doesn't make sense. I mean,
well, how does it not make sense? No, wait. So look, if I know a certain knowledge, right? If I know a certain kind of knowledge that I wish I knew back then that I know now, if I have a certain knowledge or a certain understanding of the world, and I can put that into you, but the thing is, it has to be a challenge. This shit's not easy. We came down here as a choice. Our souls came down here as a choice because it's one big grand collective, but it's just one as in you as in me as in you. I'm just living my certain section of life and God reality through me, and you are through you. So God's living his out. It's a story. It's a fucking child. Life is about creation. Life is about creation in every aspect. If you survive it, it's beautiful. If you don't, it's a tragedy.
Okay, so I see what you're saying, but here's my point. This guy, Enki, does not have the authority to put
Annunaki.
He does not have the authority to put the secrets of the universe within me. That is the job
What do you mean?
of the creator.
It is, but it isn't, because it's a part of the creator's story. You're omitting the creator already creating said story. It's his process. The devil was a part of God's unit and they were supposed to ride, but guess what? God knew that the devil, aka Lucifer, was gonna fall like a star. Mm-hmm. He knows there's a polarity to life. The shit you're supposed to do and the shit you're not supposed to do. Okay. And you weren't supposed to do it, but I did it any fucking way.
Right. I see what you're saying. Like, I agree with that's the story, that how it goes. But I say this, now I repeat what I just said a few minutes ago. I say this because a few years from now, these guys, Billy and his peers, are going to be telling you that there's going to be aliens coming and you're going to have to bow down to them because they're superior to you. And my point is, My point is that I'm not going to be inferior to no alien, at least spiritually. I don't know what kind of powers they're going to have.
I wouldn't say that. I couldn't say that because look, there are certain cultures on this planet that aren't really named or talked about that give their child a synthesized version of DMT or peyote or some shit like that. There's an old tribe, I don't remember what tribe. I remember hearing this on some podcast. This shit did not just create up in my fucking mind, everybody. So, but the thing is that it's not a fix or it's not a solution, but it's a game changer. It's a radical game changer because if anybody's had psychedelics at the very beginning of their or at any time of their life, they felt like they had the keys to the puzzle. But it's only momentarily that you have the keys to the puzzle. Then you become that regular dickhead that you just was.
Right. And that should tell you this. When you do that, when you get the keys to the puzzle, you should understand that there's no race between you and that puzzle. There's no Anunnaki and then a level above and then a level because
there's always a level above. We are the most dominant fucking creatures on this planet via scientists, if you believe in them. Via scientists, you are the most dominant species on this planet because of the abilities that you have with your opposable thumb and your conscience.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about this planet. I'm not gonna talk about this reality because I don't know.
There's always something to be better than, is what I'm saying. You said that there's no Anunnaki, there's no better individual, but there's always a better product. So what makes you think that you were at some point and all of a sudden there was an integration of something to make sure that your certain point never evolved and became said God? At the end of the day, we're supposed to quote unquote die.
Right.
We're supposed to die. But there's a limited section and segment. Now, if you paid attention to the podcast, he said that we were created to mine gold. Because Earth has a nice plethora of it, and I don't remember the whole podcast. Nonetheless, or the story.
No, he's saying that because when your atmosphere gets to a level that the sun
terraforming it, right? With
gold. So they use gold particles, put it in the sky, like so. Again, you got to listen to what Billy is telling you. He's telling you it's okay to do chemtrails. Actually, Bill Gates is doing a good job.
Well, it's terraforming. So they tell you that climate change is real.
Right. Do you say so? This is where my bells go off, because it's NASA. It's chemtrails.
Bullshit.
It's NASA, chemtrails, and what was the other one you just said? And climate change. 3 things already that with his theory are going to be like, okay, this is why we got to do it. And then the 4th one is we got to bow down to these aliens.
Like come on now. Then there's so much to the story that's not being spoken of.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the next.
There's so much to the story that's not being spoken on. Because if we be a buck about it, you're a buck about it. I can line up all my teachers right now who talk about said races and said certain said things about races and what they mean. Because if we're gonna be a buck about it, why can black people stand in the sun probably 5 hours longer than white people without getting a fucking disease? Can you tell me that? No, don't finish your wine now. No.
I mean,
tell me the reason why that I can stand in the sun and get dark, crispy, and brown, while I look at somebody who is of the European descent and they get something called skin cancer. Wow, the sun is on the planet giving life to a majority, if not a good 95% of the fucking things on this planet. Tell me the scientific evidence and factual ideological concept.
I don't necessarily subscribe to the caveman theory, but I can imagine a group of humans living subterranean.
So underneath the earth or underwater.
Yeah, or just away from the sun.
Okay.
Right. I can imagine, because I know this because I used to live in the Caribbean, and
If you get no sun, how are they that pale?
No, there are these geckos that are transparent, and only their eyes are black. They're transparent because they don't mess with the sun in the Caribbean. They only mess around in the houses, so you can see their veins.
Animal, Dutch.
No, but I'm saying, like, we also have geckos who are fully melanated. They're like green and blue and shit. So these ones decided to stay away from the sun. These types of geckos on the same place, but they're completely different. So I still have the caveman theory back there somewhere also.
So where did the caveman come from? Was it the whole ideology to where we found there was an anomaly amongst our group and where we casted them off? And then Pangea happened, and then they got separated into Icelands. Like, how did of the caveman come of descent? If the Anunnaki story gives you where the man comes from and what they are, where does our history actually start without it being an original white man's piece? Because black people have their own creation and ideology story, but we don't get that in our history book. We get the beginning of black people's times as changed up Negroes, or we get a little bit of speckles or spectrums or little sprinkles, of black people's history as them being degraded and being as something that is underneath somebody's foot. That's all that's really taught amongst the school systems in America, or in Illinois, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I also the reason I put Hotep in my name is because I did my research until I found. I'm not saying that the Kemetic, the ancient Kemetic, the ones BC 3,000 years. I'm not saying they were the only black empire, but that's all I needed to know. Because of what you just said, because of my brainwashing when I was younger, I was taught that we came from chains. And I was like, hold up, let me just go back in history. Oh, this is good enough. I don't need to go back any further, really. But I know if you go even back further, it's just black, right? So I understand that that aspect. But
so wait, you said you only go this far because this is what I really need to know. Why not go back further? You already reached back this far.
No. As far as my let's call it self-confidence, because what this does is it works with your self-confidence when you're asking yourself, why am I black? Why am I an inferior race, right? So then all I had to do was go back to ancient Kemet, and I was like, oh, this is not true. I don't need to know anything else. That shit ain't true.
But I mean, for the confidence factor, yes, but you have to also know beyond the confidence factor.
Yeah, which is, what I think you're alluding to what Billy Carson is saying with the Anunnaki, like that.
That's where you originate. You can't tell me that for some reason black people have managed to come up with majority, if not a lot of the biggest creations amongst our life. And then you can't tell me about the Moorish Empire saving and, elevating a certain demographic of people when the Moorish Empire was a certain demographic of people. But like, you can't, like, it jumps around, but you can't tell me that there's not a very evident ability that black people have I would say ability to adapt. Our ability to adapt and become better and to do better
Mhm.
isn't the most studied subject. Like, if you look at blacks in America now, Asians are following trends over here in America because of black people. Now, granted, I may be giving us too much credence and pride, or and that might be the Haitian in me, but there's still a black people who decided to overthrow their rulers. There's still something that was able to overcome always, and that's a sense of melanin. Like, you can't tell me that there isn't some kind of unique thing that we have that's being suppressed. Now, I'm not saying I'm a suppressed black man. I'm saying that as a black man, I know what suppression does.
Yeah, I mean, suppression. Like if you have what is that? There's a type of pressure cooker. If you cook something in the pressure cooker enough, if you oppress it enough, it's gonna bust. It's always gonna bust. If you oppress something, it's gonna bust. It's either gonna die or bust, right? So that's what's been.
I do also have to say I am a black man, but I am scared of niggas. Okay, look, I know that they are a part of me, but I am not gonna front my move. There's a difference between black and niggas, and Chris Rock said it. It's the kind of ideology you come with. Now, a black person can be a nigga, but a nigga has to learn how to be a black person. But we're not even black; we're coppered. Let's be a buck. I'm done playing. This is black. This is copper.
Yeah, because the Anunnaki might be, as you say, the Anunnaki might actually be black, and we're
melanated. I should say
maybe
melanated.
But I'm gonna say something probably controversial to how you think.
Go ahead and cut it up.
So, if anything, if how you're saying about white people not being able to deal with the sun, if anything, if we follow the story of the Anunnaki and how they behave mentally, and the fact that they're not from here.
Don't do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it.
That's what I do, son.
Go ahead and explain it to the people. I already caught on, but explain it to the people. Go ahead.
If anything, the Anunnaki are white people. You know what I'm saying? They're white people because they're not from here. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because I could deal with the sun.
Yes. Because there's an Anunnaki who was created white people. The people of the light.
In their essence, right?
I would have to reread the story. It's on my. Anybody know how to fix a MacBook Pro or a MacBook? Send me the address. I'll send you some. I'll do a reading for you. Fuck it.
We need to do a next Billy Carson video.
No, what we'd have to do, we'd have to break down the Holy Tablets by Malachi Z. York. We'd have to get a hold of like a real holy tablet.
Is that the emerald tablet you're talking about? Is that the same tablet that Billy talked about, emerald tablets?
I don't believe. Wait.
Because I got some for that. Maurice Dorial. I think I sent you that link.
Emerald tablet. And this is for people who don't know what the emerald tablets, they symbolize what they symbolize. According to alchemists, the emerald tablets is a portal of the soul of the world. A portal to the soul of the world. The soul of the world is a positive, unifying force that leads all things to their destiny. This is the emerald tablet. The holy tablet.
Right, so in the chat, I just sent you a Wikipedia page of the person who actually discovered the emerald tablets.
El Holy Tablet. I ain't gonna buy this bitch off Amazon. So if you want an original version of this, a hardcover, it is $5.99. for 6 pieces. If you want the bug, you want to have to throw a little Book of Light, Malachi. So Malachi Z. York is an interesting individual. If you guys don't know who he is, I prefer you to do your research. He is somebody who has created a book.
He's the one who came out with Yakub.
Yeah, the Yakub. If you know anything about
Author
that.
of Yakub, the creator of the white man. I mean, I guess Yakub would be Enki or Enlil, right?
Look, and then if you wanted to buy it somewhere else, the hard copy is $241.92 in European pound, which I don't know the conversion of that in American dollars, but I know it's more. I know it's a lot more in American. But yeah, this ain't no cheap book. This ain't no cheap book because they know that knowledge holds a certain kind of weight. And if you have that knowledge and you know who you are, you are a dangerous individual.
So does Malachi Z. York talk about Enki and Enlil?
Yes.
Okay. So then who is Yakub in that story?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I didn't get that far.
All right.
I know he created. Now there's a lot of things that that he's been convicted for and blamed for. Yet I know some of his science. When you turn to like the 16th page, it starts talking science to your ass. It's not anything that is like basic ones and twos. No, he's breaking certain things down. Now, belief isn't through the eyes, and the eyes of the human lie. But if you understand and integrate that said knowledge, you recognize what real smartness is, what real essence of life is. Because it has you, we as Black people are chaos beings. Chaos is nothing but adaptation. This is from Brother Panic. So if you know anything about Brother Panic, please pay your respects. Rest in peace to Brother Panic, as I will say. And what did you send me over here, Dutch?
This is
the Brotherhood of the White Temple.
This guy is the one who discovered the emerald tablets that Billy Carson talks about.
I will wait, but they mentioned so many other things in it.
But this is the one. This is his main piece. But it doesn't matter. But we should watch another
Oh yeah, another clip.
I wanted to watch. Let's cover the teleportation video.
Like teleportation are going to be possible in the near future.
Son of a bitch, stop it. Then we'll do
We've already teleported, I think, a couple of particles from Earth to the space station, right? But what's stopping us from teleporting a human being? Understanding and knowing the location of every atom and the rotation and spin rate of every atom. That's a lot of information, a lot of storage space. Now with DNA hard drives, the storage space problem goes away. We'll be able to teleport biological beings or objects, big objects, into space or wherever we want on the planet.
Like Star Trek.
Like Star Trek.
Whoa. Who's going to be the first guy to get beamed up?
Somebody's going to be a real guinea pig for that one.
Yeah, we're going to have to find some pedophiles.
Because when you teleport, you die. I don't know if you know that.
Oh.
Did this nigga just say we're going to have to find some pedophile?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of an issue.
Teleport. I mean, you're reborn again instantly in the other location, but it's a facsimile of you. Anytime you teleport, even the molecules that we teleport now, the original version, the original molecule or the starting matter, it's destroyed, and the data is then transmitted, and then it's reformulated. So a teleportation is actually the death of you and the reformation of you.
Maybe they could do a better job, like an Instagram filter.
Did you hear what he said?
What did he say?
Did you hear what that meant? He said teleportation is the death of you.
If you think about it, yeah. How the fuck am I going to keep you alive if it's not? Well, let's run it back. You're dying to live. That's human reality. That's number one. Number two, how are you going to reanimate How do you reanimate life?
bro.
How
Let
do
me
you
tell you,
reanimate life?
bro.
You're
think-
assuming that they create something that is out of life. You need a transfer. You need to be able to transfer it. In my ideology, like it makes sense. That if that don't make sense, I
bro.
don't know.
There's a difference between wants and needs, right? So
Right.
you want to teleport, you don't need to. And
You're right.
I think like what are you like what are we really doing here? So when you want to teleport, you should, and then you will die. And like he says, you'll be reborn again. He used a very important word, reborn. But continue the video, hear him say it. This, I mean,
Look, bro, it makes sense. It makes sense.
it makes sense if you're
I-
willing to do that. Just like
You
time
have to-
travel.
you have to also put in perception that your human body is only a shell. We are so connected to the shell. Human life is all about detachment.
Right. So
if
go on. Go on. I'm the type of person that I take my life seriously, as in the sense that I didn't just come here to just teleport and die and then reborn again. Like I didn't come here to not experience life. Why would you come to a place and say, you know what, this is you being human is ain't shit. You know, I came here to experience life as these beings that you call aliens. Me and you are one of them, but we have a shell. So these aliens that you're talking about are me and you without a shell.
No, they are a shell as well. The reason why we consider them non-shell is because they are able to exist on different dimensions. Different dimensions are different levels of reality that can be touched. If we break things down, life is about a vibration.
No,
a certain vibration.
So you're using a word that no longer applies to when you're talking about these spirits. Is life. Like they're not alive. Like we're alive.
How are they not alive?
Because
they're not alive
in
to your
eternity.
understanding and their structure of what life means to a human.
So when you're in this state of spirit, you're probably eternal, right?
Leave this bitch, bro. When you go to sleep, your body, your mind goes to another place. That's why your dreams feel real. You go to another place. That's another dimension.
Right. So but in that dimension, things are eternal, right?
Because your soul and your conscience are eternal.
Correct. So I'm saying, I am that and the body. They are only
in a physical
that.
element. He put it in a physical element. He did not. I believe this is not factual. I believe that the Anunnaki created us because they were technologically advanced through what is technologically advanced in the world of spirituality, the unseen in our observation. Yet, he put the science of the non-tangible in people who are tangible. And at the unfortunate rate that we have been declining at, we have not been able to touch said intangible feats. But certain people are, because of their certain said dedication to the world that is not tangible.
So I mean, to do that, you need to be able to transfer the soul, right? The soul to a body.
The
right?
consciousness is
the consciousness,
said soul.
Right. I am not. So I don't think that anything living living has the ability to do that. Once you decide to detach from your consciousness, it's gone. Like, so now,
have you ever had sleep paralysis before?
No, maybe, but
yes. Have you ever been inside your body while you were sleeping and you actually tried moving and you tried screaming, but you couldn't do shit at all?
Yeah, I've never been in a panic position, I've been in both.
In it. But
I've
so you're telling me you never had sleep paralysis in your life?
No, I'm saying I've been in both states, but I wouldn't call it paralysis, but because you're voluntarily doing it, like as in
Wait. How are you voluntarily doing it if I'm choosing not to be able to move? Is what you're telling me?
yeah, it's not your consciousness making that decision; it's your subconscious. So your
subconscious rules.
So if you're not in tune with your subconscious, you will panic and call it sleep paralysis. If you're in tune with your subconscious, which it's gonna be standing between the doors of these two, let's say, worlds, reality and sleep. So
because there's a lot of people who are out of tune with their subconscious because their subconscious is nothing but a higher state of understanding, a higher being.
So they had sleep paralysis.
No. Your higher being, I don't believe, would decide to choose for sleep paralysis. I believe that you are coming back from said different reality and you get kind of stuck outside your body. That's what astral travel is. But
what were you going to say about sleep paralysis?
Sleep paralysis is like this is what I was leading into. Sleep paralysis is nothing but your soul not being inside your body, but your mind, your thought just came back. Like you need both to run in tandem. Now, people who aren't souls or who don't have souls are of said living on robotics day to day. So, for example, what don't have souls but they're conscious is AI.
Right.
It's something that we built. So there are things that are able to build things without consciousness, but they're able to move around. Without souls, but have consciousness, I should say. What are able to identify certain emotions or have certain conversations and being able to be functional in this society. Yet, I don't believe that they. Oh wait, why are we talking with Joe
Maybe
Rogan?
you could just like tone a few things up.
But I don't believe that our consciousness is something that is waking up inside its body with sleep paralysis. Like we're remotely viewing ourselves from inside ourselves. Because if you ever been inside sleep paralysis, you've been just straight black. And like I know a billion times. The first time I ever really remember sleep paralysis was when I was on my way to a wrestling tournament. Super early in the morning. My dad had brought me, woken up, we're in the van, we're on the way. My dad stopped at a gas station. And I just realized he stops at a gas station, but I just snapped from a dream. And then, like, I tried moving. I was like, Good. Mark, where the hell are y'all? Help! I can't move. I gotta piss. Like I couldn't move.
So this is just your mind, you're saying,
it's not my subconscious, because my subconscious would be able, or not. I wouldn't say be able, but my conscious wouldn't be able to speak. Like if your subconscious is ruling, you are at its subservient ideologies and how it moves. Because if we're going to be a buck, if everybody had their subconscious under wraps, I don't think we'd be at the state that we're in.
No, I'm not saying you have your subconscious on the wraps. And I'm also saying your subconscious is what rules what goes on. But what I'm saying is that you're
speaking as if you're on psychedelics, because that's what happens when you are on said psychedelic. Your subconscious starts to rule over, and therefore you're on a different plane. But you're not in sleep paralysis when you're on that.
Your subconscious does rule, but
because you're saying it comes to the forefront, right?
No, because it doesn't.
You're saying it's in
you are a mere puppet of your subconscious.
That's factual.
You are the expression of everything back there. This is why I talk with this accent. That's why I move my hand this way.
This is your conscience portraying a
subconscious. Yeah, your subconscious cannot come forward, it'll be a fucking mess. You know, that's what, if you're on psychedelics, yes, it'll come forward and you'll see how much of a mess it is to use to speak. It needs a representative, which is you.
So you're telling me that you have a difficult time? Wait, I'm just trying to understand. There's said difficult times, and there are said difficult times speaking in a manner of cohesive thoughts.
Yeah, because your subconscious is not used to handling speaking. It's
being in the forefront. It's not used to being in the. So talking about in a this is where this is why I come back to when you're in a dream, but you wake up before you actually hit that button right on sync. That's what I believe. Like, you know, like a rhythm game where you gotta keep hitting it. We automatically snap back and we're used to it. But I think we hit right before it and then we get stuck. Because how are you living in reality and then you go to sleep if you aren't, or if you remember your said dreams? If you remember your said dreams, then not only are you like, do you actually live that shit, but then you get back and then you're like, I'm awake again, but your body then feels like, or you feel great.
Well, I don't believe there could be two things at the same time talking. Like, I don't think there could be your body and your, let's say, soul or subconscious, like interacting with each other.
How? Because you have a little voice in your head and then you speak out loud. So you can't speak to your said subconscious, that's the little voice in your head, out loud?
I mean that's kind of the definition of insanity.
That's not insanity. You have to put in perception that, like, if I'm talking to you, always are taking what is being told to you as reality, when all of the things that have been given to you are by people who want to pump fake the fuck out of you. You have to reprogram yourself, such as you said. If I am talking to the little voice in my head, or the little voice in my head, and I speak out on it to make a correction, you may call that insanity, a Gemini type shit, but at the end of the day, I'm addressing the little person in my head who may have a different point of view than what I'm already trying to speak out. Or you're trying to get certain things outside your voice or your head so that it clears up. Like, there's so many ways of speaking.
Well, I can role play in asking myself a question.
So what's
but I can't say I can actually, there's actually something that says, hey, you should think about this.
No,
and it's not me.
Quiet. It's quiet. It's quiet. You have to understand, we are all sedated right now. So the little voice in your head might be insanity based off of all the shit that you've ingested. Or if it's something that knows, because when we talk about conscious, we also talk about morality, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's
a little voice in your head that gives you like a, hey, I wouldn't do that, or hey, let's wait a second. And it's not necessarily you, and you're like, nah, fuck that shit. You spoke out loud and you responded to you saying, maybe I should wait a second. So therefore you went against your own intuition.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
I personally rarely say something told me. It's I told myself.
But what is telling yourself if something told you inside your head?
You
start off with your head.
I consider it me. But there has been instances where I get signs where I said this is external. Where it's like something told me.
Where do they lead you? And those said external signs, where do they lead you?
I mean, I couldn't tell you any specifics, but I can tell the difference between when I am subconsciously telling myself something and I feel like, let's say a spirit or something like that, where it's external. I can tell the difference. But I wouldn't say there's something inside of me that's another me talking to me, and we're like debating.
You don't believe in the ideology of higher self.
Hmm?
And
Say it
your
again.
higher self.
My higher self.
You've never heard the term?
Yes,
Okay.
that's me.
So if that's your higher self, like you're
That's me though.
stuck in being I'm a god, that you are God, and you don't recognize that all aspects of what you perceive are reality.
My higher self is me. So if it speaks to me, it's me speaking to myself. I would not consider it another entity.
I am you and you are me, so I'm also telling you that shit, but I'm not telling you it because you are the universe. There's one soul, one ideology, one thought. We just all are a different collective web to make that one thought.
Yes.
So it's something that's outside of you because it's something outside of you.
God, we go way off topic. Look, can we finish that video because I still got something to say about the teleportation. I'm not done.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
I'm not done. It's something else he said.
That's your fault. This is my fault, but your fault. Oh shit. Oh, this is funny.
Clean up a little bit.
Get rid of some scars or whatever.
Get rid
but
of some body fat.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they can make a better version of you, but you have to be
possible.
willing to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe that's hell. Maybe you come back and you have no soul.
Well,
Like
the
maybe
tran-
when
the
you teleport, your soul doesn't go with
Well,
you.
they're transmitting your consciousness, so everything is saved. All your
Right.
information is saved. And we know that was done also in ancient times. Thoth talks in the Emerald Tablets about being able to go into these halls of Amenti where he had rejuvenation chambers, which is what I believe is the Serapeum in Saqqara. And he would go into these gigantic stone boxes, and he would then transfer his consciousness from his body into another body. And he would leave the body that he left inside of one of those gigantic boxes, one of those gigantic diorite stone boxes for 100 years while it recharged itself and rejuvenated. While he said he walks amongst men, but unlike a man.
What?
Yeah. And he would do this for eons. He would transfer from body to body, not bodies he stole, bodies he created, that he created himself through probably some of the advanced form of stem cell technology. And
Yes. So me when I hear what Thoth is doing is transferring from body to body and walking amongst men, I'm gonna use the colloquial term. That's some demonic shit.
How
You know what I'm
is-
saying?
Wait, this is all right. Go ahead.
So, but also here's the thing. So when Billy Carson said the thing about when you teleport, it's gonna make a copy of you, and then it's gonna make another copy of you somewhere else. It's gonna take that information, the data, and then make it somewhere else. So my question to Billy and anybody who wants to use and anybody in Star Trek who wants to use this teleportation thing, why do you have to destroy if you can just make a copy somewhere else? Like, what the fuck is going on? Is it recycling?
And for you, well, I don't think. I mean, I guess you can copy it.
I mean, I guess the consciousness could just go to the other body, but why do you have to destroy this one?
It's a sin opposed to a copy, transfer, then replace.
It's
I
a
think
what?
I think what you're doing is you're taking the consciousness and you're copying it and you're pasting it over here. Opposed,
Bro, if you're copying it, like what you're saying is cutting, but the term they use.
I believe that you're gonna cut. I believe that you're gonna cut conscious and send it over there.
But bro, think about it. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. Like if it disappears, like it's gonna disappear and then appear somewhere else.
You cannot get rid of said energy. Energy is neither destroyed or created.
Right. So teleporting means disappear and appear somewhere else, right?
Okay, so if we're gonna disappear, why can't we do some shit where we go to a different frequency, sent to a different frequency, and then comes back to the same residing frequency it started at?
Listen, my brother. I am not buying that shit. If you want to go, listen, he's going to listen. In 10 years, he's going to tell everybody, listen, we're going to all teleport to Mars. But remember, I told you, you're going to have to die first. Nigga, go. I ain't going.
You are perceiving it to what does Nightcrawler do? If we're like, let's fuck the bullshit. Let's fuck the bullshit. Let's fuck the bullshit.
I'm not fucking with Nightcrawler.
Go through another dimension to come back to the original dimension. Like,
Listen.
everything resides on said frequency, G. If everything resides on said frequency,
once you break that rule, you're out. Like I think this.
You are trying to dabble with perceptions that are beyond ours at the moment. Niggas created pyramids that we don't know how they built it. We just followed niggas who told us how they built it, and they got it wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong.
Look, there's so many structures that we built today that people, if just left like that, they're gonna say, how or why did they build this shit? They're talking about why did they paint people that look like lions or
pyramids are for. You looked back into your ancient scripture, the ancient Kemetic culture, and you know what the fuck they did.
Yeah, but I'm not putting it beyond humans. I'm not gonna say it was some.
And we are beyond humans.
Hmm?
We are beyond humans. We are beyond because we can reach to a certain beyond. You just need to know how to get there. And if you've never had that training, you're just a fucking human.
Right. But nonetheless, human. Not these alien superior. Listen, I'm not subscribing to Annunaki supremacy. All right?
No, I'm not giving them supremacy. I'm giving us supremacy.
So yeah, we made this shit. So I'm not giving it to no Anunnaki, whether they be white or black.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, as one is you and I is you. Another level up. We're a cloud, bro. We're just a cloud ever expanding with thought. That's what that's what God is. A cloud ever expanding. But intangibility and intangibility. To a level above, to a level below.
I don't think that's I don't think it's that complicated. That's like saying
Not complicated.
Look, because like take these two examples, like GTA and The Sims. Like there's one level to this shit. There's the game and there's the user. Like what these people are saying.
Us? So you're essentially comparing us to a computer program, right?
That's what they're doing too.
Yes and no. I mean, you are a computer program because things are brought down to a ones and zeros, but ones and zeros bring out color. And it depends on how in depth the color is and how tangible your senses are.
I gotta say that I'm a bit. I don't want to say religion.
Go ahead.
Religion. I'm bringing a bit spiritualism into this, and this how they're selling it is very similar to how they were selling space, of how we came from the Big Bang. And
I don't believe in the Big Bang Theory, so I don't knock you on that.
So this theory of Anunnaki, which sounds great, it's attracting black people because they're saying the Anunnaki is black. But what he's also saying in his podcast is that there's levels above the Anunnaki.
There are,
and then there's levels above that. So it's that same train of thought of when you're thinking about the Big Bang, and this is moving you away from the creator. Like every time you put another level, you're like, oh, I'm more.
Hey, look at your hands real quick. You know what that shit reminds you of? Think about any animal on this fucking planet. What do your hands remind you of? The cracks and the crevices. Out of any animal, look at them motherfuckers. It looks like scales.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But somehow we are like monkeys, and monkeys aren't anywhere near scaly. Reptiles are scaly. We shouldn't have scabs or scales. Like I shouldn't say we shouldn't, but like it's very, very funny that we have scales. When you delve into this, so this is why science and spirituality, aka the occult, need to be one. They have separated it and you're trying to use a spiritual mind in the scientific realm and a scientific mind in the spiritual realm. It's one in tandem. I bring the scales up because above a lot of this shit is dragons, nigga. Like, there's a descendant upon descendants that in the whole creation story, our universe was actually constructed of dragons.
Yeah, I'm with you on the dragons, but let me tell you where the dragons are not at the level of life. They don't
your
live.
reality because
They're
you don't
eternal
deal with the occultic.
They're eternal beings, right? These
Exactly.
dragons.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm saying when they start talking about aliens, I'm telling you, when it comes to life, this is where there's no like aliens. There's the dragons, and then there's this thing we call Earth or this
But
realm.
aliens is just a term that we use to something that is foreign and that's outside of us, and we believe it's in space. When all reality, it just comes from the other side of the planet, and then outside of our three-dimensional plane. Our four-dimensional plane is where we go to reside. But like, okay, I think we're getting like combative and sidetracked on where we originally were coming from, was the teleportation and how you die and then how you come back to life. Nothing is created nor destroyed. It's just there. Now, if it's just there, what frequency is it vibrating? Because if it's not vibrating at the same frequency, then it's not there to you. But if it catches back up, it's there to you. We can go down the whole type of list of what the Egyptians believed in and what they understood. And what they believed in is what pyramids weren't just pyramids, they were whole ass batteries, were they not?
Yeah, I think you can teleport many things, but there's one thing you cannot teleport, which is the consciousness, because this is the divine.
What are they trying to do? What are we're trying to be put together in as one single consciousness under a cloud?
Because this is what I understand consciousness is. Consciousness is where, let me try to put it simple, like how the Christians try to describe it, is when you put the light in the clay to make the human. Let's just say clay. So you can copy the clay, but the light belongs to the source. Like you can't copy or transfer, do any of that to that.
You're saying the source doesn't have the ability to give the knowledge and the technology to a said race or understanding of people to be able to create such
I don't think. Yeah, I mean that would be my, yeah, of course everything is a thing, but I don't think.
Then you have to get into the realm of the occultic or the hidden for you to understand that, because as soon as it leaves from the tangible, then you have to leave it to something that's more than likely intangible, which is the occultic side of things. Like I know somebody who probably could hit you with the Zimzim's Alabama, and like all of a sudden you're walking on a clear street, but you trip 12,000 times on some invisible ass rocks that are vibrating on a different plane, like different spectrum. But it may not necessarily be a rock, it may be some bad shit, because motherfuckers on the other side that you don't recognize or perceive are able to operate with it. Say if you all of a sudden, since your ideology or your consciousness on a walk in the astral travel, because they say that when you astral travel on Earth, you can go to different places. What if you aren't sending your spirit via astral travel, dematerializing said body, rematerializing it? Because when you dematerialize it on this, it's not the original source. It has to die. So I dematerialize it, I astral travel, I rematerialize in the said gates that are able to rematerialize it. But guess what? What I just recreated is new, not the old. Death to life. There's like a little bit something like you can't conceive it because it's not yet conceivable for you because we don't have said technology to our understanding.
I see what you're saying. That so when Billy is saying they find a way to transfer the consciousness, is that they made these gates through whatever, some type of magnetic whatever that consciousness can travel to, right? So consciousness has now become, so for you to believe this, consciousness has now become part of material, something tangible, right? Like you were saying, you're saying consciousness is tangible,
Tangible but
You-
intangible.
because in that same in that same line, that means you can trap consciousness also. Like,
Yes, you can. They've stored. They said it in the podcast where they said they stored, like in like 0.1% of DNA, a level of consciousness. It's like your ancestors. Your
no,
ancestors
they stored data. They didn't. It
data.
wasn't.
They said they stored data in pieces of DNA.
Yeah.
0. So for you to be able to store some kind of data, some data isn't consciousness to us, but it's consciousness to a computer.
Oh
sense-
no! See, what they were saying is they were able to put physical print on something so small as a DNA on something
They were
biological,
able to write.
and then they're able to go back and retrieve that information, but they're not able to print it so that it would change the DNA. They didn't change the DNA. They can just use the DNA as a hard drive. That's what they were saying.
Okay.
So, but back to the conscious, I don't think I'm not convinced.
You're still trying to perceive life on a different planet in a human mind, is what I'm saying.
Look, I'm not denying there are different dimensions. I am saying, because think about we're claiming to be on the third dimension. So if these beings, we're claiming that these beings,
we're elevating to the fourth and fifth dimension if you are on said track.
Yeah. So we're claiming that these beings are on higher dimensions, right? So that kind of that should mean, so according to what they're saying, these beings are able to come into our dimensions. So have you ever had the heard of us 3 or 4 dimensional beings being able to go into the second or first dimension? Like, how do we do that?
It's plausible. I will not tell you how because I have never done it other than going into the astral world. When you go to the astral world, if you have nightmares, you're going to a hell state. If you're going to believe in hell, hell is the second dimension, not the third. What's above the fourth is not necessarily heaven, but it's an elevated form of consciousness. It's an elevated form of vibrating. You have to understand, when you are able to understand something at a degree, is because your brain is running certain wavelengths. It can measure up to certain wavelengths.
Okay, I can see how you could travel in the second dimension just by actually we are communicating to the second dimension. Like, you're flat, that's a way of saying second dimension. I could also say, because my eyes are closed and I'm only imagining it's the second dimension.
But your imagination is everything.
Yeah, but I don't. So what you're saying is that when you're in the higher dimensions, you can
go to lower dimension. You're already on the third plane. It's all about, so you know how, like, you talk about flat Earth,
right?
Think about, and this is personal belief based off of what my teachers have said. It's not through my research, but I believe this world is like a dome, and then it's underneath it. It's like an eye. So we have a hollow Earth. I don't believe in the flat Earth theory, but I believe that there are certain levels to this shit, and certain domes, and certain creations that it's like an eyeball. but there's much more to the eyeball than what we know about. And so, which you go outside in outer space is nothing but a reflection of the inside. We are in a simulation set spectrum. We're in a simulation set spectrum. So let's just call it what it is.
So if you believe that, you got to throw all that Anunnaki stuff out.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily, because you live on ones and zeros. You can't tell me that your whole entire life isn't created and crafted by ones and zeros, because how else do you get circles? How else do you get anything else? Your very first alphabet is covered with a 1. Like, it goes in tandem. But God didn't give you the alphabet for fingers. He gave you opposable digits. Ones and zeros are what the creator and the ruler of our reality is. But there's so much more complexity to the ones and zeros. Because how are you able to see me and all we're looking at is ones and zeros?
Okay. All right. So you're saying basically that the creator is like similar to a computer with the ones and zeros.
It can be, and it can be probably so much more.
Because you might have to dive a bit deeper into what you mean by 1 and 0. Because are you saying 1 created 0? Like how is it created?
The whole chicken before the egg kind of concept. One thing has to become before another. It's not tangible or possible in our perception and reality of what reality is. And what reality is basically, it's based off of a certain set of lettering system and a certain set of numbering system. And so for it to create candle, C-A-N-D-L-E-Y or C-A-N-D-L-E, candle, you spell it out, but it's also a circular thing. And it vibrates at a certain frequency. And not only does it vibrate at a certain frequency, if I were to probably go inside of myself and have an understanding of a different frequency, because if you think about it, both me and you have a different level of perceiving reality right now because we are under set influence. When you are under an influence, you're not a part of that reality. So, or not reality, but group of conscious, if you will. Like the level of consciousness. If you take psychedelics and me and you are talking, me and you aren't on the same field, but me and you are on the same field right now. There's so many levels.
I mean, you could say it on. I mean, you could also see it as wearing glasses. I have different filters. I mean, you could call it. Absolutely. I would call it filters.
It's wearing glasses on your thought and your enunciation and your wording and your ideologies that you're able to accept or be open to. Because no sober nigga is gonna think about, yo, you ever think if like humans are like dogs over in another planet and dogs are like humans? No sober nigga's really gonna think about that unless he's on the 4th dimension daydreaming some shit like that.
I feel you.
Like it's levels to the shit. So if we're going levels to the shit, let's take it back to the Matrix. Them niggas jacked in and had a whole different reality while they were jacked in, aka sleep. They were birthed out of those pods, and then why the fuck am I a full adult? And then they go back and they're a fucking child in the program.
Right. So that's what we're headed. Well, if we're gonna believe these stories.
You got to understand that stories are the main objective, and his story. Now you throw etymology into this shit. There's so many layers to life that you have to really pay attention. Etymology breaks down the words and the meanings of what we're speaking, aka English, the bastardized language. and it's such tricky spelling because you're doing nothing but spells. Oh my God, we're going back to the occult.
We're way off topic.
Yeah, I mean, but yes and no. We're talking about the ones and zeros, right?
Yeah.
The ones and zeros are amongst the spectrum of how your life and your reality is created. We're on a computer screen. Our reality is being created by magic. We don't know how this shit works, but the developers do. Guess who the developers are of this reality of ours? They're technically God.
See, that's what the Anunnaki that's the most they could have done.
But they're just developers of the humans.
Yeah.
So
well,
if we're still going back on
these
the
gods,
ones and zeros, if we're still going back on the ones and zeros path, we still have to talk about how I am perceiving things, and how I perceive it is we're on the ones and zeros, but there's a certain spectrum of people that can tap into the ones and zeros because of certain qualities that we have. And we're going back to Billy Carson. Billy Carson is talking about those said individuals that are the Anunnaki who have certain said, but it's not really spoken about that, because if we speak about that, then there's a big uproar and a hoorah. But if we talk about it,
I need to see the videos where Billy talks about that.
Oh, about Anunnakis looking like us?
Yes.
I think that was on a flagrant, was it not? No. Billy doesn't talk about it like that. I'm talking about my teachers. My teachers talk about it, but it then becomes a huge race debate, and everybody gets all racial, because the Anunnaki story is a story about black people. And if we're being a buck about it being about black people, then everybody else who is not necessarily a skin of or a tone of melanation gets so offended. Are you gonna fucking tell me I ain't real?
Look, man,
you may have a soul. I'm
you don't. I'm always looking at the end game, and if that is the case, I'll be concerned, because that means there's a bunch of niggas about to come.
Dirt on you, right?
That means there's a bunch of niggas about to come in alien spaceships to start some shit. And from what I heard, like from what I heard of the stories of the Anunnaki, how they behave, how they operate, especially how they deal with humans.
It's good and bad.
He talked about the Ngigi or whatever he said, the ones who worked in Mars, the ones who were kind of mad that they had to do the work, so that's why they made us.
Some that were on Earth and some that were on Mars. That it was over how many years? It was more than a century's worth of years, and more than a couple of centuries worth. It's like hundreds of thousands of years that they worked under these people.
So somebody like me, who I'm gonna subscribe more to human, because
they were human. They had a human. Well, you got to think about how evolution works in the body. If you think about evolution in the body opposed to us evolving from fucking fish, if you work out every fucking day, guess what? Your body's going to evolve.
Okay.
Hard times create strong men. Strong men make easy times. Easy times make pussified niggas.
Right.
So if there's been a long time where this is where we get into skin color, because look, bro, you have to look at history. And I know we're going off topic, everybody, but you have to look at history. Histories tell us, quote unquote, the Moors had told how the white people how they should live. After we gave them that information, because that's where history should start. If your history doesn't start around the Moors helping out white people, then I don't know what kind of his story you're listening. Oh wait, who are his stories belong to is the victor of the war. Victor gets the spoils of the war, and he gets to tell you how to fucking live life. We only know what is reality and what our truth is based off of who one said war. It wasn't black people, I'll tell you that. Because we technically had gone to sleep.
Yeah, we lost at the Treaty of Grenada, 1492, I think.
But if we look at reality, we don't know what the real shit is. Is it New Grenada?
Treaty of Grenada, 1492, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. 1490. The treaty provided a short truce followed by the relinquish in January 1492 of the sovereignty of the Muslim Emirate of Granada, founded in the 13th century to the Catholic Spain. But we're talking about Catholic Spain. Who are those niggas? The Vatican. Like, not the Vatican, but like it was the Spanish Inquisition that led to them trying to figure out who they're gonna fuck over next.
Yeah.
But that's another form of white people. And guess what?
They kicked the niggas out.
Not only did they kick the niggas out, they controlled the story. Like, I still believe that everybody's thumb is underneath Great Britain. America is just a fancy big gun waving around, but they're full of idiots. But America is where the initial real black people preside, is where I originate. But you know, I'm not gonna start that war. Other than that, there's so many things that go around what happens about reality in life. We're going to get back to the original point. What happens in the reality of life is that everything is based off of a number. Do we know the beginning? No. Do we know the end? No. We just know the moment. We're stuck on the ones and twos, but guess what? Everything is created by imagination. Everything is created twice. First in your brain, first and then second in reality. Right now, our cameras, first in the brain, second in reality. Our reality is the TV screen. The confinements of it, but the reality of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So then you have to understand that there's something that's outside of us, but allowing us to transmit in real time. And it's not God, but technically it's God. The internet, our modems are just nothing but niggas meditating, talking to God every day. No bullshit. Like, there's so many things that represent and reflect off the human model that we don't pay attention to it. We just get wrapped up in it. Look at your cars. Your car is just like a fucking human, but just synthesized in a very simplified fashion to just travel. Or we talk about our cell phones. Our cell phones are just nothing but our mouths for communication. Like, every form of something that's outside of us is a representation of what us. And what are we? Nothing but a simplified, complicated version of what God is. God is only just trying to figure out what is life through every single spectrum.
Yeah. And that's, look, so I take the position of co-creator. There's a actually I'm the designer and there's an actual creator. Like, I can design my children, I could do the designing. But when it comes to the actual creation, I don't think it ever happened, and it ever will, that anything that's not the creator can create something that has life. Like, so we're talking about AI, we're almost there. We're going to create a consciousness that's going to be living. But I don't think it never happened, nor with the Anunnaki, nor with us, that you can create. Like, you can do some grafting and some eugenics to manipulate what the creator has done. But I don't think you can get to the point where you can from just mass. Just put molecules and atoms together, and you have a consciousness. I don't think that will be. I don't think that's part of the game.
I think you're still thinking of it from a scientific instead of a culture kind of ideology. You're applying it via inviting God, but your thought is of logic, the tangible of logic.
Because in my reality, I am combining spirituality with science, but I am keeping my science very basic.
Poignant. Your science is very, very poignant and very, very like this has to meet this temperature.
It's very abstract. My science.
Okay.
Because the other science goes through there's levels and levels and levels and levels. My science is this is it.
Yes,
right? There's no level to level.
If we're talking about on the other side of the spectrum, there's spelling, there's me writing out spells, but then there's me actually doing work and casting spells. Everything you do is a ritual, just like discipline. Discipline and ritual are damn near the same thing.
Agreed.
If I'm working out and I have a consistent routine, that's a ritual, my nigga. And it's not the word as above, so below, but it's something that I think that we have confused and we just assume so above, so below. It's not that. It's so what is working below is the reflection of so what is above, but it's nothing but understanding of clarity.
Now with all that, are you saying that we can there is a point where we can create consciousness?
Yeah, that's what we do technically, and we aren't the ones formulating consciousness because you have to get past this 3D. You have to get past this 3D to be able to create that consciousness.
Yeah, but then you're no longer participating in this game that we're talking
because
about.
You are said God, and God came here for a lesson. But if you don't learn that lesson, then you have to learn it through a different.
But in this 3D, you don't have the ability to create consciousness. You can go to the 5th dimension and 6th dimension and create consciousness, maybe.
What happens when you have sex? You created that consciousness. You didn't create it, but you most definitely molded it.
Right. That's why I take the stance of co-creator, and in that co-creation, I'm the designer. I designed it, but I did
what God creates, but you have to be.
I did some designing. I chose the woman, but I didn't put that consciousness in there. I had nothing.
You always promised to be able to be a co-creator, and that is the part of God. That's the part of what he has. He/she has to experience.
Yeah, I can design. Look, like I can create, like I can make a puppet and pray to God all day that make it alive. But if
like I said, what the books that I got, you have to learn how to be able to create and center. You can sit down and pray, and it's about your imagination and the dispensing of said energy for you to be able to create said magic. Like you can't sit down in your belief and like solely like, oh, I believe and I understand and I believe and I believe and I believe. No, there's also two tandems. There's two selections and two parts of it. Everybody has that one part, but do you have the other part mastered? Everybody
believe that consciousness can be created by another living consciousness.
That they've already had living consciousness, aka us. Like we are consciousness that was created from something said of consciousness.
Right. They merged two things that had but they didn't actually create one. Yeah,
but you are just creating a vessel that is worthy enough of consciousness.
Like even a plant, there must be a seed.
There's right.
Like they sometimes they cut the plants and then they stem it to make another one, but that plant is going to make a seed. Like it's there's a seed part, that's the God part of it, That's the part we can't do. Nobody can make a seed.
No, you do make a seed. You have 2 kids.
No, but you can't. Can you? Nobody can make a plant seed. You have to get it from a plant.
You have to get it from a plant, but
No, you
everything is nothing but a cycle. God lives at all forms of consciousness. Plants are alive. It's just, this motherfucking tree I'm looking at is a form of God.
I agree with you. But I'm saying that cannot be touched. Like you can touch the material parts of it, but you can't touch the consciousness.
Yes, you can.
It has never been done.
Yes, what do you?
How?
This is where you are being stuck and restricted by the scientific aspect of life. You can talk to a motherfucking tree if you are able to get to that side of the occultism, that other side of the non-tangible.
I understand that the tree has a consciousness, but what I'm saying is it has never been done that consciousness has been created out of material. Like you can't create a seed. You have to find it.
No, you can't create a said seed out of the materialistic, but you create said seed on the other side. You create the tangible, lifeless shell here, but going to the other side and the side that you don't know, you are in essence making contract to bring said life. You are allowing yourself to come to here in a whole different ideology. But can you reach that understanding? Can you reach that level of understanding on the other side that is not tangible, which nobody sits down to reach it? There are a few people who sit down to reach it. You can reach the apple. God allows it to be in anybody. Are you willing to go reach for the apple?
So this is what Billy is saying that Thoth has done over and over. He was able to create a body and then roam, and while the body is healing, he roams amongst men, but not men, and then he goes back into that, the conscience goes back into that body. What do you say?
Did you clip that part?
Yeah, we were just watching it. I think I'm not sure if that was a teleportation one. He was saying it in the beginning, I thought.
Because I remember the teleportation, and he would roam amongst men, but not of men. No, I remember listening to that part of the podcast. Actually, he said that he would roam amongst men, but not of men, because of his body that's being recreated. But the thing is that I perceived it as he had his body recreated so many different times because he was able to send his consciousness to different bodies.
Yeah, but he also said while the body was recovering, he
wait,
would roam.
Who was to say that this transfer is instantaneous either?
That he's saying is not. He would roam amongst men without a body, right? And then he would go back to the different body a few hundred years later. This is what Billy said. And I'm saying, if this shit is possible, this is some, like, what we colloquially would call with some demonic shit. Like, this is...
You are stuck on, this is where you need to go as a young black man. And this is where race doesn't play a part in it, because race is just a figment of our imaginations, only due to of the restrictions that has been placed on each race by each race. But you go back to it, there's no other grouping of race on this planet aside from black people that have been highlighted the most, aside from our opposites, quote unquote, white people.
Because highlighted?
The highlighted because they are the spoils of the war. They are the spoils of the war and able to dictate our said reality based on the mass of and this is my perception, so this can't be placed on anybody else. In my perception, we are under a mass hypnosis, and since we are under said mass hypnosis, nobody takes the time to go within inside themselves to really figure out who they are themselves. And you can't figure out that you are God. You can only say that you're God because of, oh, well, science kind of puts it in that direction. You can't claim who you are unless you really took that time to know who you are. You are a combination of two other individuals, aka the Big Bang. Fuck is you talking about? The Big Bang is niggas having sex. An explosion out of nowhere.
Wait, you're saying
being held and created.
You're saying my soul is my consciousness is two parts of my parents, like this, like
yes and no, because your two parts of your parents are just one.
Yeah, I'm saying my physical is my parents, but my soul comes straight from the source.
Yeah.
So
there's a series of events that you have to go through as a soul. First, you choose the Sims simulation. You're choosing the Sims. You're like, okay, do I want to be human? Do I want to be a tree? Do I want to be a rock? Do I want to be an alien? Do I want to be this? Do I want to be that? Okay, what lesson do I need to learn? What perception do I need to perceive? Because if you think about it, coming down to this earth, there are so many people that have the same kind of qualities, characteristics, and that represent a certain kind of said life element, deity. There might be people, Simeon Toko, the last fucking Jesus Christ on this planet. Shouts out to him. Look up his story. Oh wait, Google might hide it from you. Simeon Toko was a man who was able to go, and he was a priest. He was killed on a multitude of times, shot up, cut up, burned, buried. Yet every time he came back to life.
Okay.
Because I don't think.
I mean, were there like quadruplets born in that time?
No. Oh, y'all ain't got it. Oh, okay.
Because you know what twins can do.
No. Don't try and give me that. You know, there are multiple people. No, it was one individual. And they tried hiding this nigga so many times.
I'm telling you, like, it's like, listen, people doing the craziest shit.
Okay, look. This nigga was not just doing crazy shit. He was living his life, living his purpose. If y'all niggas don't know who Simeon Toko is, get to learning today.
Look, man, here's the thing. I know the laws of this realm.
Nah, you
laws
think
of this
you know
realm
the
are
laws.
if you bleed, your consciousness will leave your vessel.
Simeon Toko, 1918 to 1984, is regarded by many as African's avatar and is oftentimes referred to as the Black Jesus. His powerful wonder works and miracle works. He is most probably known for his inability to be killed. He survived several assassination attempts, even brought himself back to life after being chopped up and having his body scattered. Upon witnessing his resurrection's body, his attackers fled shouting, "Io Dios," or "Io Dios," which means he is God, he is God. That is the last time anyone dared to do any harm to him. He helped liberate the Congo of the Portuguese. Simeon Toko is the mindset of one of his assassination attempts, prophesied that many more like himself would come in the future. I believe that is that future. Simeon Toko, an individual they will not put in the books of history because of the crazy ass feats that he had produced himself as said human. Where are your laws and reality when niggas burn down libraries such as the Library of Alexandria? You can't tell me that there was not no hidden shit. Who burns books so that niggas don't know who they are or what they can do? You're muted. You're muted.
Billy said it himself. It was a heist.
He went over there and wait. He said it was a heist, as in they stole.
As in, they stole. They didn't burn it. They stole it.
Oh well, guess what?
I mean, that's what Billy said. If we were just going to go off by anything Billy said.
So look, the information had gotten stolen.
So it's out there.
Left. It was not left. It was stolen. If we are such Neanderthals and don't know shit because black people were inferior, where our originalities begin as slave people. If that is the case, why are they stealing our shit? Why do they need it if we're inferior? Why are black people at the bottom of the totem pole if we are inferior?
Because otherwise it wouldn't be fair.
Well, why? Because we are God. But we don't know how to get there because we're so stuck on the tangibilities of this fake ass world.
Wait. So you are when you say we are gods, you saying because
we aren't
we're
gods because of our mental aptitude.
Now look what so eventually you're not gonna be agreeing with Billy anymore because he calls the Anunnaki fake gods. Okay, so he's saying just like Christopher Columbus came to the
nigga used the moon. That nigga used the moon and killed off a huge majority of a Native American population because of the blood moon that he knew that was coming.
That's Columbus, you saying?
Yes. And therefore I'm using it as the Anunnaki. There's some Anunnaki who came over here knowing what they could use us as, and then there was another one that was benevolent and was like, I'm gonna give y'all the keys of life.
Hold up. You telling me that Christopher Columbus was Anunnaki? Is that what you're saying?
No. Hell fucking no.
Okay.
But the people who are above him were of underneath Anunnaki understanding.
Okay, so see, the more I hear about Anunnaki, like I understand, like the only attachment that have me to them to have I guess sympathy for them is that they're black. But honestly, bro, honestly, they sound like assholes.
Yes.
So you know what I'm saying?
But being of a nigga, nature is an asshole. There is nothing on the opposite side of ugly that is not cute. Nature will give you the most beautiful sunrise, and underneath that ocean of the sunrise, a fucking shark is eating its baby.
I agree that nature is a
beautiful confusion of fucked up.
Yes,
but it's always changing.
I agree with that when you say about nature, but not when it comes to conscious beings. So,
are you saying nature isn't conscious?
No.
Oh, nature is not a form of consciousness.
I mean, depending on what you're talking about. Like,
no. How are you taking and disregarding nature as not any form of consciousness?
Like,
how do birds know how to migrate at certain times of the year?
Okay, so you're saying nature is like animals?
No,
like then we're nature too.
Yes,
we're nature
we have
too,
an animalistic side. Every human has an animalistic side.
Okay. I'm talking, when I say nature, I mean like tornadoes, wind, water, rain, sea.
That's nature.
The elements.
That has a form of consciousness.
Non-living things.
You don't perceive it as living. You don't perceive this rock that is a crystal right next to me as living, but that shit is living technology. If you know how to use it.
Okay, it's not conscious to the point where I could say it's living.
I will bullshit you not. This shit is living technology. I remember.
Listen, it can emit energy, but living.
No. I heard this motherfucker talk in the back of my mind, and I'm not crazy.
Fuck out of here.
I heard this motherfucker. There was a time in a period where I had my crystals all on certain books. If you know what a crystal can do, holla at me. This is applied business and law. Had gotten into a car accident some odd years ago, and I don't know. Like, I was like really curious. It was like, fuck. And I had a crystal on top of it. I had put my hand above that crystal and kind of thought of it. Thought of like if it was relevant to my situation, even though it's business applied law. I think I remember the page because it was just so fucking weird to me. I think it was 49 or 60. Well, either or, I bullshit you not. I heard a little voice go to this page. I went to the page and it fucking blew my mind. 49 or 60. It was applying law to common experience. I don't remember what page. Now I look like a fool. Nonetheless, I had gotten what was relative to my case from this book. And I read the fucking page and I was like, yo, what the fuck? I've had very, 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 very intriguing ass experiences in meditative trance-like states with crystals. And they're inanimate to you because it's just a piece of rock to you. But in all actuality, I've sat down and had like intense ass conversations, if you will, about crystals. Hold on. I got a whole nother book that goes in depth about crystals and magnets.
Look, I'm sure there are, because we're talking about these aliens, spirits / demons or whatnot. I'm sure these things without vessels that people claim to be superior to us. I'm sure that you can have these things that they can call their vessels temporarily and claim to be a crystal. But for action, because we got to think about what a crystal is. A crystal is
nothing but a form dense of a form of condensed light and light information.
It's a vessel.
It is a vessel.
Yeah.
Just like how trees are. Somebody's soul is in this tree, and I believe trees are a form of imprisonment.
But this vessel is inanimate, right? It doesn't move.
Our understanding, yes, it's inanimate. But a tree doesn't move, but it has a consciousness.
No, a tree is animate
because it gives you life. But who's to say that there isn't anything else on this planet that doesn't have a certain kind of vibratory relationship with the rock? For example, a fish is in water and it doesn't know that it's wet because it's around water and it's different waves and it's a different understanding of the environment. Who's to say that we aren't wet? Every time we watch a fucking movie, you see an alien come down here, he needs a fucking helmet, or we go out of space because you need a fucking helmet or lungs to be able, or gills to be able to breathe said environment. Mm-hmm. There's always a symbiotic relationship between so many different things, but everything on a plane that is not on the tangible reacts differently to each other.
Okay, so all right, so how does that relate to the vessel, the
crystal? If you are tuned up here, you can. So, for example, there's a crystal called Lekalea. A Lekalea crystal is something that technically holds a god or an angel it holds the essence or the deity of a god or an angel. You can have this crystal up on your fucking like, it don't matter where, like in your room, you could have it hanging up, and it provides nothing but protection. This crystal legit stops gunfight on people. This crystal is a deity, an angelic deity, if you will.
What is it called?
Lekalea. Lekalai. Lekalea. And they have to pray to this crystal before they mine this motherfucker. This is where you get on the occultic side. This is where you go to the other side where it's not tangible to us. You have to be able to. Where is? Oh. I know it. No, it. This is where the connection between the crystal connection and the pre-mentir guide to the power of the crystal as agents of healing, self-transformation, and spiritual insight. A crystal, like you said, holds a certain set energy or a certain set frequency to be able to provide certain healing or self-transformative. But for you to get that self-help, you have to do something that's outside of yourself every day. For spiritual insight, it has to come outside of you. Now we're still talking about the intangible. There's so many things that are intangible that hold so much weight as reality than what we give it. We just don't perceive it to be reality because it's not tangible. And did my eyes deceive me, or did my eye actually see it?
Yeah, I think most things that are intangible that we it's not even intangible that we can't see. It's mostly on the frequency level. Because I do think that we are vibrations, like we're frequencies. Like that's our the basis of our existence. Like frequencies to the point, because the same wavelength that's light also is radio waves, and it can also become magnetic, become electric, and whatever.
Aren't there so many stories of the sun, which is of a light spectrum, being able to affect, quote unquote, heal individuals? They said they got healed by the light of the sun. I know if you haven't heard stories about that, but
I don't need. I mean, I could believe that I've been healed by the sun.
That's the power of belief and the power of actuality, like what has been evident, what has been tangible to you. But it's the light is the spectrum of a wave that we can perceive. Water is a spectrum of a wave that we can perceive because we vibrate at a certain frequency. Who's to say fish don't vibrate at a certain frequency for them not to feel wet?
All right, so this is why I think this reality that we are in is limited, because I don't think it goes for eons and eons of things, because as you know how a wave operates, the further it goes, the wider the wave separate from each other, and then you could probably not see it anymore. So I don't see that working in an empty space. It's a set, because this is what all this alien space thing is doing. It's telling you that what you're seeing with your own eyes is not by design. It's telling you about the sun and the moon and all these coincidences, the Fibonacci and all these things that it just happens everywhere. It just happened to, and And what I've seen with my own eyes, this shit is special right here. So when you come with when they come with alien stories, all it's telling me that we're insignificant. And I understand that that just how we can see an ant, how an ant can't perceive us, how there could be bigger levels of to this shit. But exactly because when we start talking about frequencies, maybe I can't explain it that well. There's we know how many frequencies there are. Like there's a limit. What you say?
I would like to pause this. If y'all want to continue this conversation with us, we're gonna go over to Patreon. But this is the end of the YouTube video. We're already at 2 hours, and we flew by this bitch, and it was just like a blink of time, which is only a fragment of our reality. We flew, and I mean, we were going back and forth and riffing, but like at the end of the day, like this is something that needs to be discussed. If you would really like to tap in with us, please tap on in. We're gonna have something in the Patreon. We're gonna have a lot of shit that's just about to be popping up. But we appreciate y'all for being here for so long. Love y'all. We honor y'all. Thank y'all for all
on the other side.
Peace.